Ladies and gentlemen, the sheer hubris of these women in Hollywood, it sometimes stuns even me. Because I have trouble relating to somebody who could be that obtuse, that dense, that delusional, that tone deaf. I can sit and look at the wreckage of Star Wars that is a result of the future is female agenda. I can see the people that were once enthusiastic Star Wars fans reduced to apathy. They don't even care. When Star Wars Theory, the biggest YouTube channel, a guy that is as passionate and dedicated about Star Wars as anyone that I've ever seen, I know some people don't like him. I don't care. Jealousy, envy, whatever it is, leads to the dark side. I don't agree with him sometimes either, but there is no denying that he is the biggest Star Wars fan in the world. And that guy is starting to feel apathetic about Star Wars. That should frighten you to your core. And as a company, and as a director, as a creative, you should see that. You should be able to read the temperature in the room and say, whoa, I have some work to do. We have some reformation here that needs to go on. And so your words should be carefully constructed and uttered to put the fans at ease, to make them feel more comfortable and say, I have hope for the future of Star Wars. Instead, you doubled down, tripled down, quadrupled down, octogonal down. I mean, at this point, what are we at? 16 downs? They have refused to listen, refused to learn, refused to adapt. And honestly, what was first anger and frustration has turned to apathy, and that is the death of a franchise. Anger is not the death of a franchise. Anger means you still have time. When people are angry, that means you have time to change. But apathy is the death of a franchise, where people just stop tuning in. They stop caring. They don't want the next thing. And at this point, we are at apathy. Tyrone Magnus just did a video where he said, and this is the guy that was featured on Target's ad, about how exuberant he was about The Force Awakens. Now, I have my disagreements. I think The Force Awakens was terrible because it was recycled, produced, processed garbage. It was what we had gotten before in a slightly different package, and I didn't like it. But he did. And you know what? A lot of other people did too. But you didn't take the momentum from that and knock it out of the park. You bunted. And instead of the soaring, amazing experience that we know Star Wars can be, we got abject misery and anger and frustration. And it divided the fan base because you had people that wanted to defend it, and you had people that were dismayed that it even existed. And that is not the place you want to be in. Because while you may think that's good for business, creating controversy, here's what that did. It introduced a lot of really terrible, really disgusting, really degenerate people into your side of the argument. We call them Raylos. They were sick, creepy losers. They were people that didn't really have a life, so they wanted to live through Daisy Ridley and Adam Driver. Wanted to ship them together, even though they didn't know anything about them. They would even call in threats to Adam Driver's wife. These are the people that you courted. These are the people that you gave license to by your content, by your agenda. You brought these people in and you said, we don't want the old fans. We want the Raylos. We want these other people. These people that are in favor of whatever we're doing. You refused to listen to criticism. You refused to grow and adapt and learn. And unfortunately for you, what you learned very quickly was that the future was not female. It wasn't. You learn very quickly that there was no future if the female nature was the focus. If women were the focus of Star Wars was going to die. And that is a trend that continues at every level of entertainment. And I'll explain it to you. It has nothing to do with women. It has nothing to do with women or the female gender in and of itself. It has to do with very specific people in this culture in Hollywood. Now, they happen to be women that are ruining these pieces of entertainment. But you would have to be blind, deaf, and dumb to ignore the fact that there are some brilliant women in literature, in entertainment, and the arts. J.K. Rowling is the one that I always pull out because she's the trump card. One of the biggest authors of all time, created Harry Potter. I want you to understand something. This is so not about gender. If you took any one of these overweight, unattractive, miserable, depressed at their career women in Hollywood making these statements, making these terrible decisions, and you put their words in J.K. Rowling, I would not care, because J.K. Rowling has earned her right to say what she wants. Now, I may disagree, and I do often. I don't agree with J.K. Rowling on Trump or any number of things. I'm more of a libertarian. I don't agree with her on much. But I respect the hell out of her. In Japan, I use this as an example as well. Rumiko Takahashi. She's an adorable little Asian lady. That woman has created more content than most people in the world. She is incredible. Inuyasha was 170 something volumes, not chapters, volumes, books. 170 something books. And that's not even her only long-running series. She had Ranma 1/2 and a bunch of other ones. This woman has made thousands of chapters, thousands upon thousands of chapters of manga, and have them adapted into anime. Ranma 1/2 is like 100 and some. It's longer than Dragon Ball Z. Inuyasha is longer than Dragon Ball Z. All from this one woman and her vision and her passion and her appreciation for her culture and adapting it into her work. This is not about women. This is about these women in Hollywood, in the West, that are corrupted by this mind virus. Their careers are not what they thought it would be. Their lives are not what they thought it would be. They thought that they were going to be big. They were going to be famous. But now they are at the end of their life, about their, these women are like 50, 60. Kathleen Kennedy, what was she, like 70? These women are at the end of their life. They realize their careers have been for nothing. All because of their decisions. They decided to not go to the gym. They decided to be fat. They decided to not really keep themselves, prim and proper. So they're unattractive, they're fat, they're stupid, they're lazy, they're incompetent, they're greedy, their personality is shit, they're single, they're alone, they don't have kids, they don't have a legacy, they've not built anything up, they are miserable, old, fat, stupid, and lazy. And they blame you. And they are going to exact revenge on the franchises that you have grown up loving. They will go to any length to take something that you have appreciated and loved your entire life and spit on it and step on it. This woman had the fucking gall, the chutzpah, to say, I'm directing a Star Wars movie, but I've never read anything about Star Wars, but I know the story. How fucking dare you? How fucking dare you, you giant yeti? You incomprehensibly small, ironic for your body size, human being. You are a small person. You have an opportunity that few people could even imagine. And you, before the movie is even named, Start making it about yourself? Who the fuck are you? Who cares about you? No one cares about you. And that's not just directed at this one woman. It's directed to any of these women. Any of these fat sacks of garbage. Who cares about you? Nobody. Nobody cares what you think about politics. Now, here's where people would care about you. If you went in to Star Wars and you did the right thing and you went in with little ego, very little ego, and you said, we're going to make the best Star Wars piece of content that anyone's ever seen. I'm going to read up on all these books. I'm going to get the best Star Wars experts in here. We're going to make it a Star Wars experience to remember so that the next time somebody mentions George Lucas, they're going to mention me as well. That should be the mindset. That should be where your heart is. But it's not. Because I said these women are lazy. And it is not only women, but it is a type of very feminine man or one of these women that tends to do this sort of thing. Rian Johnson is a very feminine man. Somebody that didn't really like Star Wars, clearly. Somebody with a lot of daddy issues, somebody with a lot of problems. He decided to take them out on his work and humiliate Star Wars because he didn't like it. J.J. Abrams has been revealed as a fraud. He may like Star Wars, he may not, but at the end of the day, he's more interested in himself and his mystery box and his brand of, well, you want people to know what's in the box. No, the box is an empty, vapid, meaningless gamble. There's no substance to it. There is no depth to it. It is meaningless. George Lucas created an entire world with actual mystery and depth and intrigue and twists that paid off, that had substance, that had teeth. Luke, I am your father. Or he says, no, I am your father. The reveal that not only did Darth Vader not kill Luke's father, but that he is his father. The revelation that it was Obi-Wan who crippled Vader so that he had to wear the suit. All of this stuff, all of these twists, it is storytelling that is so brilliant over decades that we really need to do more to appreciate George Lucas. But you get these women and you get these low testosterone men in these spaces. And what ends up happening is they make it about their ego. Because they realize that this is it. They realize that there's nothing else but this. Their careers haven't gone anywhere. They don't really have anything worth remembering or worth discussing. They are people that have lived their life thinking that the next big break is just around the corner, but it never has come. And this is where we're at. This is where we're at. And I'm going to play these clips for you. I have this clip right here. It's disappointing.
Now, meanwhile, Pakistan is counting down to the start of a new year, and they're just over a couple of hours until the festivities begin there. Our next guest is an inspiration to women all over the world, including her home country of Pakistan. Filmmaker and activist Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy is the only...
If you have activist in your title, you should never be in charge of directing anything, let alone a Star Wars movie.
Only female director to have won 2 Academy Awards by the age of 37. She's also the first woman and the first person of color to direct a Star Wars film.
Everything about what this woman is saying is disgusting and is wrong and is part of the problem. And the fact that there are people that don't understand that is deeply, deeply troubling. Doesn't matter if you're a woman, doesn't matter if you're a person of color, that means absolutely nothing. Those are immutable characteristics that you cannot change and you did not choose. They mean nothing. They mean absolutely nothing. You did not choose to be born a woman. You did not choose to be born from Pakistan. These things mean absolutely nothing. Let me say it again. What matters is your heart, your creativity, your dedication, and your willingness to put aside your pride and your ego to make the best piece of work that you possibly can.
It's set to be released in 2026. You can say that the force is strong with this one. Here's Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy.
Cringe.
You know, I'm very thrilled about the project because I think what we are about to create is something very special. And we're in 2024 now. And I think it's about time that we...
What did I say? Not trying to be mean, but I want you to pay attention to these things. The type of women that are saying this stuff. The type of people that are invested. The media is invested. Certain women are invested. This whole thing is a con job. It is a scam. It is a way to allow the most mediocre and unaccomplished to feel like they're doing something. The first women this, unless it's the first women, flying to the fucking moon, who cares? Genuinely, who cares? And even going to the moon, who cares? Being the first woman, being a woman at all, you're half the population of the earth. You doing something for the first time in 2024 is not an accomplishment. It's embarrassing.
We had a woman come forward to shape the story in a galaxy far, far away.
When the Star Wars announcement came out, you posted this on Instagram.
What is this music? Like, this uplifting story. This woman finally has control of Star Wars. They've had control of Star Wars for years now. Kathleen Kennedy has been in charge for years, and she's ruined the franchise. And so what is this?
You said this, quote, "I have always been attracted to the hero's journey, and the world definitely needs more heroes."
Notice that she doesn't say, "I'm a fan of Star Wars." She doesn't say, "I'm a fan of Star Wars." She says, "I've been a fan of the hero's journey." She probably considers herself a hero on a journey. But notice, she doesn't say anything about Star Wars. I've spent my life meeting real-life heroes who have overcome the most oppressive empires and battled impossible odds, and that to me is the heart of Star Wars, which is why I was attracted to the promise of a new Jedi Order. What about this sounds like it's about Star Wars? This sounds like a PR statement for her personally, because she realizes, oh, nobody knows who I am, nobody cares who I am, I'm going to make this about me. This woman does not know or like or care about Star Wars. I guarantee it. She has no knowledge of Star Wars. She is the worst pick for this, but she was hired because these losers in the media, they will sit there and smile at you with their fake white teeth and ridiculous demeanor, and they will sit there and go, in a galaxy far, far away, now women are going to be in charge. It's like, it's so repulsive. Everything is fake. It's plastic. It's bullshit. There's no realness to any of it. It's all a PR stunt. They're using Star Wars to wipe their ass. And they think we should be grateful. We should be incensed that these people treat Star Wars like a disposable commodity.
And the world definitely needs more heroes. The blueprints of the heroes we see on screen are rooted in reality, unquote. Now, Sharmeen, as an award-winning documentary filmmaker, you have met and profiled many real-life heroes fighting abuse, fighting violence against women. Is there one real life hero you met?
What about violence against fans from Disney? Oh, words can be violence, remember. Oh, we've been taught this by these same creepy, dead-eyed, miserable losers. We've been told that words are violence. What about the violence against fans of Star Wars? What about the attacks on Star Wars fans? The disparaging remarks, the hit piece articles that were bought and paid for by the Disney Corporation? How about all of the times that they've taken the opportunity to try to run down, besmirch, and belittle fans? These people are so arrogant, it makes me sick. They have not done anything to warrant this entitlement and this just level of I am owed this. And we're going to put ridiculous, creepy music in the background and do this fluff piece and blow smoke up our ass. What on earth? I mean, holy shit. If I failed as miserably as Kathleen Kennedy has and destroyed Star Wars to the point where it is, and they had me on there wouldn't be any fancy upbeat music. They'd be saying, how could you live with yourself? And I'd be saying, I don't know. It's horrible what these people have done to our culture and entertainment. And you should be far more upset. You should be far more upset that these people sit there and smile as they shit on the things that you love and hold dear. And they've been doing this for years. Years. Taking all the things that you love and putting it through the filter of this phony, cheesy, bullshit, woke ideology.
You filmed. Who has stayed with you?
My work takes me right around the world where I focus on grassroots communities. And in my own home country of Pakistan, I'm inspired by so many of these frontline workers. And one of them is Gule Khandana, who runs a school for young women.
Can you imagine George Lucas doing this? I've got this movie about Star Wars. Let me tell you about all my charities that I go with and all the people that I know, all the things that I've done. These people do not care about you. They do not care about Star Wars. They do not care about lore or accuracy. This is it for them. It's a vanity project. These people are getting paid gigs to take a giant squat on something that we all love for no reason. There's no upside to this. Do you think that this makes me look better upon this woman, CNN, Disney, Marvel, anyone, Star Wars? No, it makes me look at you all as even worse. You're fake. You're phony. I have done all this stuff. I have all these awards. I'm very special, don't you understand? I'm very special. I've gone around the world and done all these things. I'm against this and this. And it's like, fuck you. I don't care about you. Nobody cares about you. This has nothing to do with Star Wars. Nothing to do with Star Wars. What does this have to do with Star Wars? And the reason that you're getting the spotlight is because of Star Wars, and you are using it. You are using it as a vehicle for yourself. And in the process, you are hurting it. You are damaging it. These people are horrible.
And who has stood up to loud voices that clamored during the attack in Pakistan on schools a few years ago. She has the most incredible story because her husband is her partner and her champion. And it's so important to have
Spaces for the next generation of Pakistani storytellers.
You know, somebody opened a door for me that allowed me to walk through it and grab the opportunities that have come my way. And it is so important for me to open doors for the next generation of female filmmakers in my own home country of Pakistan. And I found it